It's a seaside town chock full of holidaymakers and thrill seekers, testing their nerve on amusements and arcades. But although they might be eager to take a risk on the rides or at the slots, just how big a gamble would they take if they thought that just a few miles away something could disturb the fun? Here, in the quiet countryside just on the outskirts of Blackpool, Cordrilla's drilling site has been the focus of a media frenzy. People have been worried that the recent earthquakes in the local area were caused by the hydraulic fracking process, and there are also concerns that it could contaminate nearby water supplies. But Cordrilla say that their methods are safe and they're just trying to do the best job they can. France may be about to ban shale gas, but the UK government isn't planning to. And are these earthquakes, water contamination and gas leak fears really the product of fracking, or are they just scaremongering? This drill delves 10,000 feet into the earth, looking for gas trapped in shale rock. Shale is an ancient carbon-rich rock which has gas inside. The gas is extracted from natural cracks in the rock by a process called hydraulic fracturing or fracking. Water and mud are pumped deep into the ground at high pressure to force open these minute cracks. Left behind are grains of sand, which hold open gaps in the rock, letting the gas flow out freely. This process has been around since the 70s, but a rapid increase in fracking for shale gas in the States has led some to question its safety. What are some of the big problems that people have had with shale gas?
I think the main thing is the thought and the perception that it damages groundwater. And again, this gets back to doing the job right. If it's a proper designed well bore, you don't have that. But it's really important to point out that when somebody may see an event on the internet, that they probably don't understand that in North America alone, there's 40,000 wells drilled every year. And if there's 8 or 10 problems that go astray there, it's a small amount and easily managed away. These are very, very preventable incidents if you do a proper well design. So if we do it right, no groundwater issues.
But are they doing it right? Alistair Fraser, a professor at Imperial College, says it's not just about contamination underground, but water storage is also an issue.
The other concern with using all this water is you have to have somewhere to keep it and put it once the well delivers it back to you. And in the US, that's been done by just digging pits. And you've had a mass of water, chemicals, sand sloshing about in these pits, which are pretty full. And, you know, heavy rainfall, the potential's there for a little bit of ground contamination.
But Cordrilla insists they've put in place the measures to stop that kind of leaking.
So we actually have 3 strings of casing and cement between our producing formation and the water supplies. And the very first one, the most basic one, is called the surface casing, and we always set that 500 feet below the bottom of the fresh water supply. So if the deepest fresh water supply is 500 feet, then we would set this, 1 to 2,000 feet below, just to make sure that there's absolutely no room for error.
Fears of contamination aside, the other thing that hit the headlines was the earthquake in Blackpool. Is it really possible that it was caused by fracking?
I think most people would accept it causes micro-seismic events. Remember, these fracks are taking place at depths of, as I said, below 3,000 feet typically. So it's really quite deep in the subsurface. It's not happening below your feet. It's way below your feet. So I don't think people should be too worried that we're going to be moving any of the old faults that we know currently exist in Northern England, and that from time to time do actually move quite naturally as real earthquakes.
However unlikely it is that drilling causes major earthquakes, Cordrilla are carrying out an investigation to see if the two are linked.
We don't know. We're approaching with an open mind. We think it's a responsible thing to suspend some of our activities and look at it, and we have a pretty detailed study going in to see if there is a relationship and to what extent, and if we find there is one, then we're going to look at our process and see if there's something that we can modify in that to mitigate that problem.
Despite these assurances, many in Blackpool still have their doubts over shale gas.
Well, obviously you wouldn't be right pleased, would you? Especially if it causes any damage out there. Because living on the coastline, you don't want that that rising, do you?
Well, I think it should stop. I think they should stop it and go further out into the Irish Sea if they want to do some drilling, because I know a few people that are rather concerned about it.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it, so there's no good worrying about it. What's the good of worrying about something you can't alter?
Vicky Ellis, Energy Live News, Blackpool.